Today we're going to make a crown so you can become the queen that you know you are. For this video, I hunted around Amazon and I've procured a few supplies for this. I will link them all down below so that if you would like to recreate the crown that I have made today, you can do so with those supplies. Since this was my first rodeo making anything with wire, naturally I had no idea what I was doing. I felt the best way to go about this project was to measure my head with paper and draw a design on it that I could recreate with the wire. What I didn't know is that wire does not behave the way I thought it would, and required a much gentler and focused touch than I was about to give it. Needless to say, after struggling with the wire for an hour or two, I decided to do the responsible thing and actually watch some tutorials to learn some jewelry crafting techniques. Yes, we all need some help sometimes, especially when it's your first time trying a new craft. Okay. We made an attempt and we hate this, so we're gonna start over. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So I do like the look of the elven ones. They're really pretty, except I really want to go for like an evil queen vibe, but not an evil queen vibe, like a misunderstood witch. Maybe a noble witch, and she's driven out of her home because someone accused her of something that she didn't do. Because I was concerned about running out of the thicker copper wire, I made the decision to use black wire for the base, and I tempered it flat with a mallet thinking that would help it retain its shape. This was one of those cases where following your gut was not the best choice. And then to preserve my wire stash, I chose to make some singular crown pieces by gently bending the copper wire into loops, ironically still keeping my original design in mind, at least where I felt all the sparkly elements would go. So the next thing we're going to do is cut a bunch of strips that we're going to use to wrap this piece onto this piece. And yes, I'm always pleasantly surprised when it all works out, and my happy little accidents, or as I call them, whimsical decisions, aka whims, lead to something relatively cool looking, at least by my standards. So I've taken the flat crown and I have connected my 3 areas on it with the other little wire pieces, and then taken these pieces and just given them a little bend in so that they don't just stick out from the head and they're sort of coming in like they would on a crown. I really like how this is turning out. I went from, this is so hard, oh my god, I can't do this, to, ooh, look, I made a thing. So I'm trying to figure out or decide how I'm going to do the back. So you can take like a claw hook and some fishing line or something and attach the ends. You can cut this so it's more of like a tiara on the sides and then loop it together so that you can take it on and off. I am wondering if I want to do something like that, or even just bend these edges back and have a little bit of a loop. So yeah, I'm trying to decide what would be the best way to wear it. Before I embellish the rest of this, I just want to figure out the attachment points. So I decided the easiest way to join the base to the crown at the back was to curl the ends in a bit and hook them together. That was most definitely a whim. I think that'll work. And I've left a little bit that I can make it bigger if I need to at the back. So I'm going to use more of the wire pieces and then just connect some of these areas together a little bit more. But so far I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. Like, we're not done yet by any means. I would like to bejewel this thing. I have these other little bits and I wasn't sure if I wanted to add them like at the back, if we wanted this to like go all the way around. I made them, so why not use them, right? Cheers. It's day 2. Last night I took the opportunity to finish connecting all the pieces together with some wire around the edges. So just on these little areas here, and making sure everything was solid and it was fitting the way that I wanted. And today we get to do the fun part because we get to add all the sparkles to this. I'm happy with how this has turned out. I kind of like it, so I'm not mad about it. Especially since this is my first time working with wire at all, and I'm not gonna lie, it hurt my hands a lot. Like, they were aching and sore last night. To be expected, I suppose. So if you're new to wire crafting or anything like that, then that's something to consider that might happen. So I just want to twist and tie these on around each loop that I want to put those teardrops in. I'm running into a little bit of a snag. You can see what's happened right here. I've wrapped wire around these and then wrapped them around the top part of the loops, but as you can see, they are just sort of sliding down. And I think if I knew how to solder these, I would just solder them so that they wouldn't move. But in the interim, I'm going to just take some more wire, this in a slightly thicker gauge than what I used to attach the beads on. And I'm going to do a loop wrap like I did around where I was joining these circles together and getting that and having that attached to the band of the crown. So I'm just going to wrap these around the sides of it and see if that helps and if it looks okay. I've taken some wire that's a little bit thicker than the wire I used to attach the beads on, and I've just wrapped it around the outer edge of it, similarly to how I connected these other parts together. So kind of just giving it a little bit more grip. Yeah, I think it'll stay and hold, and it's blending in pretty decently, so I don't hate that. I was worried that whatever I would do to it, it would end up looking really bulky or bad. So far, not too bad. So I'm going to keep going and attach a lot more sparkly things to this crown so that we can just make this witchy queen the sparkliest, most mystical badass that she can be. This is why I keep band-aids stashed around all over the place. Because it's not a real project until it's made you bleed. Okay, I have all of my gems on the crown around the outer edge. What I'm missing is this one right in the middle here of the front, and I wish I had a bigger teardrop sparkly size than this, because that would be what I would put right there, but I don't. I had picked up some costume jewelry from the thrift store a while ago, and I'm eyeballing this gem here. I have a lot of stones, some sparkly stones. I could drill a hole in one of them and hang one of them down as well. So I'm just trying to decide what I want to put in that space. After much deliberation and searching for anything sparkly I might have had lying around the house to be used as a centerpiece for my crown, and yes, I searched high and low and even considered Christmas decorations, apparently I need more sparkly things in my life. At any rate, I decided on a few sparkly beads and a piece from some costume jewelry I procured from the thrift store. I want to wrap the base around here, this black part, with some wire just so it looks nicer. I don't know if it will, but that's what we're gonna try. I don't know why I thought this would work out. Let's call it unrealistic expectations of our whimsical decisions and abilities. Okay, so I started wrapping this with the copper wire. It's a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. And when the copper wire gets kinked, it's really hard to get it unkinked and it ends up just looking like shit. And now I'm afraid I'm gonna have to undo all the wrapping I did because it looks like trash. In my head, it was gonna look amazing. I think I have a solution. I did a couple little experimental braids, like wire braids. These are really cute. These could potentially work if, oh man, that would look really nice actually. Ponders life choices, because I don't know if I have enough wire to do that with. I'm trying to figure out what's going to look the best and isn't going to be too time consuming to do. This is the wire I got from Amazon. This is the 1mm 18 gauge. So the first thing I need to do is figure out how many inches of wire I need. And then I'll need approximately 8 strands of this. So my head is 22. I probably need 24 inches, but I'm gonna go with 26 just because I want to have enough. So we have our 8 strands of wire, and these are about 26 inches each. And now I'm going to tie the ends of the wires together somehow so that they don't flop all over the place. You essentially want all of the strands to be flat. Twist them together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our little twist and separate our strands out. We're going to 4 on one side and 4 on the other side. This was a very cool technique I found on Pinterest after searching for twisted wire jewelry. Basically, you have 4 strands on either side. Then you take the middle strands and twist them, then pass one side of the 3 strands under to the opposite side, and the other 3 strands over, making sure to gently bend the wires in a curve and keep them all flat and not overlapped. Basically following the direction of the twisted wires so the twist is hidden. Next time I am definitely investing in some silicone tip tools for jewelry making. I've finished my braid to go around the base of the crown. So now all I'm going to do is attach it to the base of the crown. I had thought about and considered removing this black part and then just having the pieces attached to this. So we'll see. I'm gonna see how this kind of works out and whether I need to actually remove this black band or if this can just go in front of it and not look like garbage. So that's where we're at. Unsurprisingly, it was going to look like garbage if I had just attached the braided wire to the black base. So I clipped off the black base and reattached everything to my new and improved and way cooler braided copper base. That was most definitely a successful, whimsical decision. I also twisted the ends together to join the crown at the back. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I am so glad I took the time to cut it off the black band and put it on the copper braided band. Like, what? It looks so cool. And this is our final result. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I had making it. This was my first time doing a wire crown project or anything with wire, so I learned a lot doing this project that I definitely will be using for future projects. This outfit is from Scarlet Darkness on Amazon. I'll link those down below as well so that you can grab some for yourself if you want, because I just realized today this dress has pockets. I am just like floored right now. I don't think I've looked this good in 20 years. And I encourage everyone to get a cute, whimsical dress, put on a long, luscious wig, make yourself a crown, and it will give you that lift that you never knew you needed. Of all the things I thought I needed today, this was not even on the list. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Pam, and this is Total Pamarchy, the craft channel with a little anarchy. I am really getting into making dark fantasy props, costumes, and crafts, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. YouTube thinks that you would really enjoy this video next, so you should definitely check that out, and I will see you next time.